how well it's performed in July, and that NASDAQ futures contract. And I wouldn't be surprised if we hear about 19,970, the open of the month for the NASDAQ. That's just my opinion. But there's also every individual stock out there. And you know some of the big names, and you know that Mr. Busby this morning is going to be talking about them. So get that.
Let me do a test. 1, 2, 3. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, sir. We got you. I can hear you loud and clear, Tom.
Well, first, I appreciate everybody being here on a Saturday morning. I typically only do one of these a year, and usually it's in February. But when I see what I'm seeing in the market, I know if you go back to 2022, how many were with me in 2022 when I got everybody out of the market and short in 2022? How many people were with me back then? Carol, Jerry, saved you a fortune, didn't it? Well, when I see events happening in the market that I can't explain or it's time to circle the wagons, I'm usually ahead of the crowd, and I'm ahead of the crowd today because I'm here. I'm here not because I wanted to be to start with, but I'm always trying to give people a heads up when things are going on in the market you need to be aware of. And that's the reason we're here on Saturday. And I want to thank everybody for being here. That's number one. Now, before I get started, this is an election year, okay? It's an election year. And because it's an election year, since the year 2000, it goes back a lot of elections, I found this website that I'm going to share with you. And I'm going to teach you real quick before we get started how to use it. What I'd recommend to you, put it on your desktop and follow along, because this is going to be really an overriding indicator for you as the market moves towards November 5th, okay? The website itself is called predicted.org, predicted.org. And if everybody can see it, right there, I called it up and drug. Can you see the website that I've drug up there? Everybody see that?
Yeah, we see it too, Buzz.
Okay, if you look at the website, what you want to focus on is these numbers right here. Does everybody see 53 versus 50? Everybody see that? And it goes to 100, folks. It goes to 100. Watch this over the next 4 or 5 weeks, and it's going to give you an indication of who's really winning the election, okay? Who's really winning the election. And I noticed while I was pulling this up, and I thought this would be the nominee. You see how Mark Kelly selected as the vice president for Kamala? Everybody see that? Anyway, I follow this pretty closely, and if you think about it, write this down. This is how you use it. A 2% move or more, okay? A 2% move or more in those numbers usually has a market reaction. In other words, if you saw Trump go from 53 to 55, I would rate that bullish, okay? Or if he went from 53 down to 51, that would be bearish. You always look at both sides of it and watch the trend, just like a stock. How many people knew about this website before they showed up today? Yeah, not many. So I think I did something that will help you, okay? Follow those numbers. Follow those numbers. I've used it since 2000, and people always say, Tom, you always get the right winner. Well, I watch the difference in watching the news versus watching that website. People put real money up, okay? People put real money up. I'd rather listen to people, just like trading, that will put real money up. One of my rules. I don't listen to anybody unless I know they put real money in the market. Okay. All right, you got that website. We're going to get started. Jonathan's here to help. Jonathan, do we have anybody from the sales team here?
Jeffrey's here. That might be it, but Jeffrey's here.
I didn't see. Yeah, Jeffrey here. Jeffrey, you're going to get a lot of business, baby, because we're about ready to light it up. Y'all ready to go? They did put the website, John, we'll repost that website in there for the people that got here late. I say let's get started. Y'all ready to go? Let's do it. We're going to go from what I think, my opinion, to how to make money. That sort of defines today. I'll show you my trading plan, stocks to own in this environment, the election cycle, critical update. I'll give you my opinion there, and the most important key number in the market right now. Okay. This will last about an hour. I'll talk as fast as possible, answer as many questions as possible, but I got to get going. Y'all ready? Let's do it. Risk involved in trading, very high degree of risk. You find out about that when you're on the wrong side of the market. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Folks that are new, we got a little special treat for you. Former Air Force officer, active trader since the 70s, former member of Chicago Mercantile Exchange, author of 3 books, and worked with students. I would get these books and read them. They'll help you. That first book is in 11 different languages. It's been a bestseller for years. A lot of people, I don't talk about it much anymore, but it's still a great book to read. Now, if you're new, send an email, and Jonathan type this in there, tbuzz, TNT at DTI Trader. If you send an email, I put a special video together if you're new. So send an email there. We'll get it out over the weekend to you if you're new. Okay?
That's
Everybody got
tbuzz TNT
tbuzz, TNT.
at Gmail or at
DTI Trader.
Trader?
Jonathan will type that in there for everybody to see, I'm sure.
Tom, can you hear me?
If you're new. At DTI, we help you master the markets through education, training, and experience. We have all 3, and we focus on education because I believe educated traders do better than uneducated traders. It's common sense. If I can educate you to things like I did today with the website, you'll be following that when you're trying to decide what the market's going to do. In my opinion, the market is at a crossroads. I'll give you a number today that helps you to find those crossroads. One will be up, one will be down. Always look at the market both ways. Now, I have a program called, we're going to talk a little bit about that, the last 5 trades from the 25-cent trader. Reason I'm mentioning this and talk about it today, because we got a lot of people that's not part of it, probably one of the best programs in the entire world, and you'll hear more about that, but look at the last 5 trades. 30% return on options. 17, straight calls, this is straight calls. 17% return. 27% return. 35% return. 25% return. You like that track record? You ought to see the whole record. The whole record's off the charts. I didn't have time to do it in this short notice, but it's off the charts. Now, there's 2 big events this week. You got to know about this. This is going to create an opportunity for the 25-cent trader. Okay. Wednesday, Fed meeting. Big meeting. This meeting is setting up either an interest rate cut or the language would be so positive it might rescue the market. And then Friday, we have unemployment. Those 2 readings are the market moving events you got to focus on this week. Wednesday at 2 o'clock, you'll find out at 2, write that down, Eastern time. Friday at 8:30. Friday at 8:30. You'll find that out, okay? Friday at 8:30. Now, 4 stocks that I like right now. I want to show them to you and tell you why. American Express. In fact, my granddaughter was up on the New York Stock Exchange back. She wanted to buy a stock. It was about 220. I told her to buy American Express and Berkshire. Those two I gave to her. Look at the last 5 days, up 1.45%, 1 month, 659, 3 months, 435. Year to date, it's up 32%. My target for American Express is 262. It's 245 right now. It's not too late on American Express. Berkshire Hathaway. I think Berkshire is headed to 465. You can see just how good it is. Now, here's a new one that I'm going to trade. It's called Gilead. We made some money in it this week. We're going to make some more money in it next week. Gilead, I think it's headed to 81. IBM, Old Blue, back in IBM. I think it's going higher. My first target is 199. Take a snapshot of this slide, folks, and then look back in December and just see how good today was for you and your portfolio, okay? We put it out there at DTI, don't we? How many people like me doing this? Now, here's the warning sign about the general market. The QQQ versus the SPY. I'm a QQQ trader. I watch almost every tick of it. If you look at the QQQ versus the SPY, back in December of 2021, you saw this same type action where the QQQ was trailing the SPY. Doesn't mean it has to turn out that way, but I'm just bringing it to your attention. Keep your eye on the QQQ versus the SPY. In fact, I don't know if he put it in here. I do believe that SPY has the potential to drop 3.7% from here. I think it's 527. Write that number down. I think that's the number I wrote down, 527. There's the chart. You can see that the SPY is holding up better than the QQQ. And when you look at the SPY, okay, and you say to yourself, okay, why does Tom say it's better? Well, the monthly open of the SPY is 545.63. We're right there. We're right there. What's the monthly open for the QQQ? 480. Does that put it in perspective when you compare it to the month of July? 480 versus 462, 545 versus 544. This is what you do is compare, okay? The big cap stocks are taking a hit and they're pulling the general index down. In fact, write down that number. The clouds will disappear if we get above 480 on the QQQ. That's the one number there you got to remember. Write that down. Put it into the transcript, Jonathan. Exactly what I said. You've got to be cautious as long as that NASDAQ is below 480. Write that number down. It's easy to follow. Put it on your system. Make it happen. My estimated support for the SPY is 527. If you look historically, and I went back 50 years to figure this one out. I told you I'd do some work, didn't I? 50 years. Historically, if you change candidates like you do, the market pulls back. That number is 527 percentage-wise. Write that number down, support, if it pulls back. Pretty good information to come and get on Saturday morning, isn't it? If you think about it. This is what we do. This is what I do. NVIDIA, one of my favorite stocks. I've got it defined in a frame. Resistance is at 118. Support's 107. If you see NVIDIA break 107, you got to tighten up your retirement portfolio. That's a big number. If it goes back above 118, you can take a breather. Okay. 118, it takes it out of the doghouse. Do you like the way I'm framing this market for you, that whether you're a new trader or old trader, you got numbers you can latch on to that will take the emotions out of trading? This is what I do. This is how I do it. Now, the market took a bath over the last 8 trading days. The NASDAQ dropped almost 10%. And some of these stocks did even worse. On Wednesday, it fell 3.65%, probably one of the worst days over the last 20 years. One of the worst days over the last 20 years. Remember, up until now, it's been on one of its most bullish runs ever. Everybody was fat, dumb, and happy. Not us. Everybody else was. We wasn't. And the broader indexes like SP, Dow, and Russell. By the way, if you notice, the Dow led on Friday up 1.64%. Most people that are new to the market think they don't know what's going on behind the scenes. That's called, write this term down. I labeled it many years ago. It's called painting the tape. That's what you're seeing. They're painting the tape while they get out of the stocks that move the market. Okay? That's exactly what they're doing with the Dow. Painting the tape. In 2 weeks, the entire market turns. The Russell jumped over 10% while the NASDAQ collapsed. Money goes from big stocks to small stocks. You've seen a shift. I have more about that next week. It's just interesting when you look at things and you think about them from here, you know? Now, market is shifting aggressively right now. That's why we're here today. This urgent briefing on Saturday morning illustrates the importance of being ahead of next week's market. One thing with DTI, and I think my students will tell you this, I'm always ahead of Wall Street. And the reason I am, I work at it. I was up last night from about 11 o'clock to 1 in the morning, compiling numbers and looking at things. I don't do that every Friday night, but I did it last night because I knew I had to share that information with you. My trading plan, I'm going to focus on stocks that lead the S&P to the long side. For the NASDAQ, I'll focus on shorting opportunities like our Google that we shorted, I think Wednesday or Thursday, made about 30% on that trade, on that option. I'm going to find more of those to the downside. That's my trading plan. The stocks that I say you can own for big potential in August, I'll give you the setups and everything. Berkshire, Gilead, IBM, and American Express. Berkshire held up even with the onslaught. This is sort of like a mutual fund of the market. Very good stock. Gilead is a runner. I like Gilead. I made money this week. I'm going to try to make money. I think we got about $3 here we can trade into. We'll see how that works out starting Monday. IBM is a longer term play. I think by December, you'll see a minimum of 199. A minimum of 199. American Express is solid. Look at American Express. I told you I thought it's going to 262. Get on board if you want to park some money. I think it's a good stock to park money in. 262. Now, August is going to be a very volatile month, and that's what this index will show you. That's the VIX futures right there. See how the VIX futures and the volatility had been coming down, and all of a sudden, they've wakened things. Right down to number 18 on VIX futures, 18. If you see it go above 18, hold on to your seatbelt, okay? Hold on to a seatbelt. Now, I said last week the market was at crossroads. When Labor Day gets here, the market will take a path of least resistance. I'm going to walk you up to that point if you're with me as a student. You'll be right in front of it. All you have to do is be part of the team. Important key numbers right now for the S&P, E-mini. Write this number down, 5534. That's the important number to watch Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in July, 5534. I do things with numbers because numbers people can follow. You write that number down, you look up there, and the S&P is trading 55.55. Well, guess what? Higher. If you look up there and the S&P is trading 55.40, or not 55.40, 54.40, you're going lower, headed towards that 527 on the spot. Next week, we got the FOMC meeting on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Going to move the markets depending on how he frames things. Remember, this is setting up a huge opportunity on the 25-cent option. What if I could show you how to have the biggest week you've had all year using a very inexpensive option? Anybody interested in learning how to do that? You got 2 big events next week. 2 big events. Most people are paying high prices. I will take these small options in front of those events, find the right ticker, the right expiration date, and the right price to pay. This new way that I'm showing people around these reports, people are raving about it, right and left. That's because their account's growing. The highest price I pay is around 25 cents an option. That's 25 bucks. Anybody, new, old, can play. I have dates where these big reports happen. This week, we've got 2 in 1 week. I say, give me a bonus, baby. Give me a bonus. Here it is. Look at this. Double in November, 104% gain. Doesn't matter what the market's doing when I find these tickers that are set up. How about 182% gain? How would that affect you if you put $1,000 on this inexpensive option and was able to make 182%? How much money would you have then? Do the math in your head. You getting the picture? How about a triple, 214? Pretty impressive, right? It's because my accuracy rate is off the charts. The price I pay for these babies using options is off the chart. And anybody, whether you're a new player or advanced player, can do it. Now, I've taken it to a new level. And I call it find time for a dime. I love the 10-cent options. The math is a lot easier. If a 10-cent option goes to 15 cents and you got $1,000, how much money did you make? If you buy an option and you got 1,000 on that option, how much money do you make if it goes up to 15 cents? Yeah. Gets your attention, doesn't it? Find time for a dime this week. This week I made one. It went from 10 to 13%. That's 30%. Not bad. Some people made 60 and 70%. They did better. I also did a 12 into 14, 17%. 27, 11 into 14. You like my find time for a dime concept? I love it. There's a 13 and 14, 35% average on that one. Another one, 25%, folks. How many people know what a sharpshooter is? They're pretty good. They're pretty good with a rifle, right? Especially with a long gun, right? I think I'm a sharpshooter for these find times for a dime. I'm good. 25-cent trader to a whole new level. Everyone here can participate. All you got to do is be part of it. I started sharing this about a year ago, and people just couldn't believe we were doing this. Look what John said. Gets to feel like Mr. Big. Yeah, you're trading some options that can pay you now, folks. Or Jim from Irvine. Made 4 times his money. In other words, he put 1,000 in and ended up with 4 times that much. How about old Carlos? 5 times. Not bad. These are real stories. Now, these are let me just say this. These are contrary to 70% of the time the way I trade options. I focus on these key event days. That way you don't have to watch the market. You can be a part-time trader and still grow your account. Most people will lose money because they don't know what they're doing. We're not losing money. We mapped it out. We strategized it. We made it simple. It shifted the whole perspective during these key times of the month. That's because trading these 25-cent options are on very specific predetermined dates. 2 dates you got to remember. Fed meeting on Wednesday, unemployment on Friday. We'll be able to pyramid there with a remarkable 78% hit rate on the back test that got us into it. Like in January, S&P was out of the bear market roaring higher. Crossroads there went up. Don't have to guess with these. You get market movement during these time periods, and the VIX is telling it's coming. On January the 10th, none of that really mattered. Listen to this. January the 10th, predetermined date. 36 is the place to trade before the market's closed. Basic call option, 194%. I think you got to do the math and see. Somebody has to show you the power of this. You can bring a small account and make it a big account. It gets even better. January 11th, needed 23 cents to be part of it. And here's what came next. 264%. Triple your investment. I love those triples. Folks, I don't want to put the mouth on it, but you got an event on Wednesday and Friday you got to be part of. Let's say someone started with a small investment, turns into $2,293 in profit. Look what Bill said. He's been trading with me over 10 years. He says, what I'm showing you today is the way you grow your account. Listen and take notes, folks. This guy is a very smart guy. You probably met him at a seminar. He's been around for over 10 years, and that's what he had to say. And a matter of fact, we got to do something about this inflation, don't we? Average Joe brings in about $63.98. That's pre-tax. It cost you $78.75 to be at the same level you were, 4 years ago. We're going to change that. Most people are sliding backwards financially, but if you start adding this in, you start smiling like I'm smiling. Pretty fun. 194%, 264 profit, 2,293. These are numbers that all of you will be talking about if you get part of this program. Here's what we did in January. It was a big month in January. Look at that. 180%, lost 100% on one, and then had a real good string from there. 60, 101, 264, 194. Pretty good stuff. Look at those dates. Over 100% on 4 out of 6. Predetermined dates is what you go. Richard, my win rate is about 85% at last look. 85%. Do the math on that one. With the 10 cent, it's better than that with the 10 cent. Finer details how it works. Get the calendar today. Map out your schedule for the rest of the year. The dates that this market's going to move. And before we get there, let's be frank. I'm not typically a directional trader, but I have to open my eyes and do things different when the market changes. There's been a trend to change the market. I had to adapt, and this is my adaptation. Now, all traders will have winners and losers. Even the best people that swing for the fences take bigger and frequent losses. That's what the exchange says. We're fighting to take. If you know me, you know I don't like taking big risks. I usually grind out 10 to 20%. That's my usual goal on options. That's how I make these top students reach their goals, 135%. Way to go, Manny. Or Laura, great trader. She's a great trader. 2,200 in a day. Now, you can use what I teach you and expand it. Denise just got started. She's new. Up and down, getting the grind pays the bills. Incredibly high win rate has been my bread and butter. I don't like the emotional drain of losing. Do you? Who likes that emotional drain when you got a trade that's going against you and it just drains you, doesn't it? I don't like that. So I eliminate it. You see, with these predetermined dates and the safety of the way it works, you just got to follow. You got unlimited upside, and the combination of my win rate plus upside gives you a strong advantage. Follow along this Wednesday, this Friday. I'll put the trade on Tuesday and put the trade on Thursday, the day before. They're not day trades. 25-cent trades, double, even triple extremely fast, like the one last January. You could search the internet over the weekend. You get all kinds of stories. Anyone with their hands on my calendar on January 17th, look what happened. Click a few trades, 101% gain. Start with 1,000, now you got 2,000. Now, I don't have a magic 8 ball, but I do have the ability to think strategically, this is my Air Force training, and tactically. Just like any strategy, there's going to be winners and losers. Just play the game with me. Take this, join it, be part of it. Now, this graph opened my eyes. It should open yours. If you look at the last 10 years of that eye-opening graph, and you look at all the days that the market you moved 1% or more, very few days, actually 30%, 3 out of 10 days, mathematically move greater than 1%. How many of you would like to know when those days happen? Tell me yes if you would, if you'd like to know when those days happen. Each individual dot represents a single day. If you could focus on those days, you can knock it dead. There's the inside chart where you don't want to take these 25-cent trades, but outside these lines when you do. Outside of these lines are moved because of major reports. When it moves 1% or more, it's time to smile. Market's about flat 70% of the time. Most of the time, the market's churning. That means about 7 out of 10 trading days, the market's stagnant. Options are eating time to get. Anybody ever had a call option expire worthless? You probably kept it into 7 or 10 days and they expired worthless on them. Options eat up your time decay when you're long a call or long a put. In fact, the mercantile exchange, 76% of those options expire worthless. We don't play that game. That's why if you've been trading investment for a while, you struggle to make profits because you got it all mixed in. We're going to eliminate those situations and get you long a call or long a put at the right time with the right ticker. Retirement account barely budgets 7 out of 10 times because it's probably diversified out there, right? Not because you're a bad trader or not smart. You're learning stuff today to help you. Majority of time, stock market barely moves. That crushes option trading accounts. Now, if you're able to hone in on those like we've done, you unlock a gold mine. That's why people in my 25-cent trader will tell you it's one of the best programs I ever came up with, and their account is showing that based on what they've told me. Now, the dates, these biggest moves in the stock market are not random. That's why I can give you a calendar and tell you the dates for the next year. They're predetermined in advance. And these predetermined dates, these inexpensive options will double, even triple, sometimes overnight. The biggest payday we've seen was in February. February was not a great month in general, but look what we did. Fed had other plans talking about not yet we're raising rates. They're still saying higher for longer, right? That could change this Wednesday. Typically, news would make you want to sell your stocks. Listen to him, February 21st. Look what we did. Sure enough, very next day, a 391% gain. You see, every month there's a handful of these government reports. Write these down. Unemployment, first of the month, CPI, PPI, middle of the month. GDP, PCE at the end of the month, 5 times every month. Some months you end up with extra bonuses, like the Fed meeting. It's a huge one. 8 months out of 12, you get Fed meeting. You see where I'm going here? Where our focus is going to be? CPI, PPI, GDP, you name it. They move the market. They're published before the bell in the morning, so you can't get in after the fact. You have to take and play the odds before the fact with the right ticker, right setup. Most lucrative days in the market. You got to play. 25-cent trade before the market moves. Triple in the blink of an eye the next morning. You take your profit, move on. The next 25 trade happened on February 28th. We only paid 21%. This got me thinking, maybe I could go lower in price. And boy, did I discover a gold mine on my fine time for a dime. Next morning, 8:30, U.S. Jobless Claims Republic. Look at that thing shoot. Off we went. Anyone with 5,000 invested in S&P in cash made 150. Not bad. But in the 25-cent trader, what would you have done? 2,381 overnight. So if you went to your bank and said, hey, what will you give me if you hold my money for 2 days? They would have said 25 cents. With this program, you would have got 2,381. That's 16 times better. And based on what we've said and the people have said, pay attention. Like Tina and Peggy, very new students. They jump right in. Easy to get in, easy to get out. Tim, 25-cent trader. Option play, low risk, highly profitable. Same exact case with the next setup. March 6th. March 6th. Look what happened. Confidence in the stock market. Off we went. It fell, just like it did this week. It fell. We bought. Up we went. But I'm not like most people. I look at the numbers, I look at the setup, I look at the ticker, and I go with what the odds say. Now, they set up when these dates are published, put the trade in before March the 6th, before the government published their report, smiling, laughing, grab dinner with an old friend. By the opening bell, you're up 134% because we were in when everybody else was not paying attention to small price options. Now, these major economic reports happen every month. Each one is their own tradable opportunity, and they make up all the opportunity in the stock market. Let me prove it to you. You're going to be shocked when you see this chart. That's the current bull market in the S&P. Everybody agree with that chart? Up, and away? But look at this when you break it down. Here's what you don't realize. See those circle dates? Everybody see those circle dates? That's on report day. Take those out. What happens? When you take it out, that big uptrend is reduced to that. I'm going to stop right here and say, do you get the point? You got to be there on these big days. And you got to have the right ticker, right expiration, and the right price. It's a dangerous game. A lot of 76% of the people are playing a dangerous game. Fast track losing money if you're trading options. By isolating those dates, the way we do it, that's where the money is made, big money. And that's why I've dealt with a special calendar with all these dates in advance. You'll get it, put it on your calendar, and pay attention after 1 o'clock on the day prior to when I go hunting. Critical information on how to set the trades. I got 49 spots left. Wait to hear this deal today. Then all that's left to do is take a quick trade on the dates shown, 54% on that one on July 26th, 152 on December the 20th, 334 on May the 24th, $10,867 in 24 hours. I think that this week we're going to shoot for the stars. How many people, just imagine if we could do this. Buy an option at 10 cents and sell it Friday morning at $1. How many people would like to do that? I'm going to attempt to do it this week. We got enough good stuff that's happened in the past. I'm going to take a little bit more and try to squeeze that pickle a little bit this week. Anybody like that idea? Taking it and going for the gusto this Friday? Richard says, bring it on. I'm ready too. Actual priorities, predetermined dates. Don't trade any other way, especially if you're long calls, long puts. Now, can you pick any option every time these dates pop up? You think you can? No. If that were easy, everybody would do it. I've got the criteria set up. I know which ticker to go with. I know what option date to go with. I know what price to go with. We developed a very strict set of criteria to get you in on this. We filter out all the data everybody looks at to find our ticker. We find an option 25 cents or less. I think it's fine time for a dime. Just the sound of buying something for a dime and selling it for $1, that's legendary, isn't it? I want to do it. Let's do it. That's our goal. We do all the heavy lifting. I'll figure it out. Simple trades, buying a call, buying a put. Any account will do. Basic call put. They work for 401ks, IRAs. The results have been incredible. You ought to talk to people. When I had a class in June with people kept coming, Tom, this 25-cent trader has changed my life because they get it. Now, success rate, 75%. Profit, 5902. 2.36 on the initial state. Recycle it. Recycle. I wonder what it would be then. 1,000 would turn into 2360 on average, 5,000 and 11,008. You like these numbers? The 25-cent trader, if you start with little as $25 to try it out. Now, my Find Time for a Dime program. I didn't charge the existing members anymore to be part of it. I gave it to it. So today, if you join, you get all programs. Find Time for a Dime. Now, of course, regardless of how good the test or live trade's been, you can't, nobody's got a crystal ball, and I sure don't. But I like the idea of this week. And my students are even outperforming the results. Like old Monica, 25 cents, 100% profit. Dial it in. Or Doug, 4 times the money you put up. Or David, new, started with us. Now, there's a reason I rushed this broadcast to you today because of where we're at. I gave you the reasons when we started. A giant shift on Wall Street to move towards shorter dated options, and you can't afford to miss out. Be on the ground floor with me. I got 49 spots left starting today. If you'd like to be in, get involved, get your calendar, get your plan, and be there this Wednesday. This very minute. I want to hear from you. That's because this early access, these 49 people, early access members will be cut off. Get joined. We call it the 25-cent trader. It's going to be modified to Find Time for a Dime. We'll keep doing that. 25-cent trades on these predetermined dates. 49 spots. All we got. Same trades. I told you about this one. It's great. My cousin loves it. Inside the alert, you'll see everything I believe you need to place your trade. January 31st, there's the ticker, the date, the strategy, this particular option I'm using, and the price. Can't get any simpler than that. You copy it, do the trade. Your broker will accept it if you approve for options. And hey, next great win, 180%. 4,500 overnight. Now, you get an exit alert at the time I do it. And usually what I do, let me tell you how I do it. I'll say if I buy this option on Tuesday, if I buy it on Tuesday, I'll probably give you, because I'm going for big money this week, I'll give you 3 parts to get out. Okay? 3 parts. You have each exit order already in there after you put the order. That way you just let it click off. Now, if you're beach with friends on the golf course, from a group, there's that group I was telling you about. They came up and rushed me after we talked about this. You never have to miss out. Place to trade before the market closes on those dates. You all set, brings you to the next piece of membership with very specific entry prices I give you. Where we're wrong. Where we're wrong is a holding part, and the profit targets are set. Always shooting for optimum gains while avoiding holding on to losers too long. Certain time I stay in these trades, and that's really a big benefit. You saw where I lost 100% in January. I stayed to Tombstone Day. I don't do that anymore. I cut it before we get there, and I'll show you how that works. Pretty cool. I call it automatic exit plan. We'll teach you about that. Set the trade, walk away, but not just that. Now, if you're new, this is a great program to learn about it. The 25-cent trader is the most basic form of option out there. No spreads, condors, anything fancy. Just get on board. Special training. I'll have special training as early as tomorrow or Monday. Count on it. I got a course that you can go through at your own schedule that teaches you the right way to trade options. This course is worth what I'm going to charge for this. And there's a reason I included this in-depth training. Since the pandemic, these major economic reports have got more and more important. Wall Street's got it figured out. We got it figured out ahead of them. These trading these zero-day options explodes. They're guessing. We're not guessing. We got a strategy that's very tactical based on these reports. I've got parameters. I got all that stuff. We do all that heavy lifting for you. 100% average return. Now think about that. And I'll show you how to plan to use them to target doubles, even triples on these predetermined dates. And my students absolutely rave about the opportunities I tee up for them, especially the folks who've already seen it work. And I got a bunch of those people here. That's why we only got 49 left. Rhonda said, small account friendly. Bruce said, less than 24 hours, we know. It's all based on the dollar you put up. If you put up $100, divide that by 10 cents. Put up $500, divide that by 10 cents. You put up 1,000. Now, they wanted to price it at $69.97. I fought that. All the energy and time we put in this should be worth about twice that. 49 are guaranteed today. It was 34, 40, 97 for a year, but this is the deal you want. If you take one of these 49 spots, you're covered. Listen up. You get 3 special bonuses lined up for early access members. You get our VIP special. That means a lifetime of doing this with me. A lifetime, folks. Not just 1 year, not just 2 years, not just 3 years. We'll be doing these 10-cent trades as long as I can trade. Anyone takes action in the next few minutes right here in this room. Not 1 year, not 2 years. 49 people get those spots. You got to be early. Chicken, fish, or steak. Make your decision. The 25-cent trader is running wild. Get on board. Based on the full data, the lifetime deal is a no-brainer. So, even though $34.97 for 1 year is a heck of a deal, $34.97 would be a steal. It gets better, folks. It won't be $34.97 if you take one of those. Now, if you say there's 50 of you on, the 50th person will pay the $34.97. Before I get there, the 10x guarantee. I'm putting a guarantee behind this. What do I mean by that? That means if I don't perform, if I don't educate you how to successfully trade options, that's a big ask, isn't it? Because I don't know you, but I know myself. I'm confident, but I'm not cocky that I can show you how. 10x guarantee. Follow along. Get part of it. You won't want to do anything else except on these dates. Education is not what I say it's going to be. People will tell you just how good it is. 10x the value of what you paid. Keep the trading calendar. Move on. Early access gets this privilege. And thanks to me, here's the final bonus. If you want to hit the ground running faster, Get signed up today. You'll get access. You'll get to review several videos of how they worked out, training. The options is cheap as $25 a pot. I can tell you this week it's $10 for one option. In order to get on your feet, start a lap ahead of everyone else. Here it comes. We take the first 50 off, $12.50 off that price. So there it is, folks, 2247. Now, let me ask you a question. If I can produce and I buy a 10-cent option that we can sell a part of it for $1, would you be what we call on scholarship after that? Tell me if you get the math. I'm going for the moon this week. I'm laying out 3 exit points, 1 to get our money back, 1 to make a decent return, and 1 to round the bases. It's Babe Ruth time, baby. Babe Ruth. Y'all know who Babe Ruth is. 49 people get it. Click yes in the chat if you want one of these memberships. Put your name, email, phone number. If you can't get anybody on the phone, Jeffrey gets tied up. Don't be on the outside if you're one of these 41. Don't be on the outside. Don't try to be getting in at that price after the 49 are gone. One of 49 is available. Take one of the spots, chicken, fish, or steak. There's the link, dtitrader.com/250. Or call 904-416-1776. If you call, nobody answers, type your name, email, and phone number in here. We'll make sure somebody gets you where you're not left out. Click the link in the chat. They're posting it right now. Go to dtitrader.com/250. Call 904-416-1776. People are lining up trying to get Jeffrey to call it. Please, if he can't answer the phone, you got to talk to him. Put your name, email, and phone number in there. We're ready to do it. That's what me doing it. I was dancing on the grave of those people losing options on that day. Bought at 27, sold at 49, 1166. 25-cent traders here. Very weak. Go to dtitrader.com. Get your calendar. Today, watch some of the previous trainings. You'll know what to do. 49's right there. We're closing it down after those 49 are gone. We're not going to offer this VIP at that price anymore. Go to dtitrader.com/250. Let me answer some common questions. How much money do you need? Well, if you pay 25 cents, you need $25. But if you pay 10 cents, you got to change that to $10. Will every trade be a win? Of course not. No strategy is going to win 100% of the time, but you follow along. Learn what I got to teach you. Be patient. Let the odds pay you. You're going to love the 25-cent program. Should it be worried about the down? No, that's the beauty. I can go either way. Either way. Can you trade this in IRA or 401k? Yes. What's the 25-cent trade? Hey, you'll get it. All the predetermined dates in the calendar. I told you about the 2 this week, 49 spots. There it is, folks. I laid it out for you. And there you go. Robert, yes, there's a guarantee. If it doesn't work, get out. We'll give you your money back. How you like that one? Can't beat that, can you? That ought to remove all obstacles for anybody that wants to play along and see this work for themselves. How you go, Robert? That'll take care of you because you're a great student. I'll do that for you. I'll do it for everybody. I'm that confident. Absolutely. This would be well worth it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions anybody have? Any questions at all? Tuesday afternoon after 1. Oh, by the way, I've got a special Telegram channel that I can talk to you about the trade. Each trade I do this week will cost 10 cents to get in. They will have 3 sell points. Friday's trade, I'm going for What number did I say I'm going for Friday? What number did I say I'm going for this Friday? If you listen, Andre says I'm in. That's right. So let's do the math on that. Say you put $250 in a trade, right? If I'm right and hit 10-1, do you have a scholarship then, mathematically? And that's the beauty of this. You put any amount of money up, it's risk capital. We won't lose the whole thing because I'll get out before the expiration date. I'll take that money and roll it into another one. But hey, how many people are going to be in what I call my 10X club this Friday? That's what I want to know. I want some of these new people to be part of it. Okay. Richard's in. Jay's in. All right. We got 47 slots left. Fred's in. 46. Pretty cool, isn't it? Pretty cool. Rochelle says, let's rock and roll. Rock and roll time. If I'm able, let me ask you a question. Would it be bad if we hit that 10X on Friday for me to post it every time I talk? I'll tell you a story. Years ago when I started this, it was funny, but when I started, I told a guy, I said, you ought to buy Woods Petroleum. Okay. He said, I'm going to hesitate. Every day for a week, as Woods Petroleum went from $30 to $40 a share, I'd call and say, hey, Woods at 32, Woods at 34. You know what he said when it got to 40? The next time I talk, he's going to listen. I was a young broker. I still remember it. When I talk, he was going to listen. All right, folks. Be part of it. Get part of it. Any other questions? I gave you enough today that made it worth your while. The election site I gave you, I'll show you how to use that in our training. The stocks I gave you should make you money in your retirement account. Richard, is in the invitation that once you sign up, they send it to you where you go into the Telegram channel. It's called the 25-cent trader. Absolutely. Remember, if you're new, and you wouldn't hurt if you are new to put your name, email, and phone number in here if you are new. But I'm going to send you a special gift for being here today if you're new. You got to send it to T-Buzz TNT. Wendy, the stocks are, write it down, Gilead, GILD, American Express, AXP, Berkshire Hathaway, and IBM. They're both great, Emmanuel, both great. Any other questions about this? Any other questions? Richard, your announcement will be on Tuesday. Emmanuel's getting in. All right. All right, we're down to 45, 44. 44 left. The email address is tbuzztnt@gmail. Put new in the subject line where I'll send it to you, okay? tbuzztnt@gmail.com. They will put, Wendy, they'll send out today's recording, I guess when we finish. Any questions how to get signed up? If you've got questions, Jeffrey will call you, put your name, email, and phone number in there. He'll definitely call you if you got any questions. Don't be without this going into next week. If not a good thing for you. This entitles you. There's Michelle. Put your email in there, Michelle, where they can get a hold of you. I'm going to talk to Jeffrey. Emmanuel says, I'm joining because it's another time to listen, act, and get happy. You got that right, Emmanuel. All right. Anybody got any other questions? Education was invaluable. I hope you appreciate it. I have no idea why anybody wouldn't want to be part of this program. Get with Jeffrey. He'll work it out with you if you have to, do things. Okay? We'll have a session on Monday to prepare everybody. First tray to go off Tuesday, the second tray to go off Thursday. How many people think it's possible to take $1,000 with an option and turn it into 10? How many people think that's possible? Sometime around 10. Andrea says, I'm in, I'm doing it again. I like it. Way to go, Andrea. I've done it before, I'll do it again. Yeah, you'll be invited to my Sunday night planning if you join. And folks, I laid it out there for you. I told you I'd keep you an hour. We'll do it, Andrea. We'll do it. Make sure you signed up. All right. I'm done. Y'all have a great Saturday. Look at my information. Be part of it. And we'll get cooking with gas. Jonathan, let me know that I'll be using 3 targets this week on the 10-cent option.